Prompted by the brief Amanin appearance in the new Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, this video will detail an expanded universe event where the species defeats the Galactic Empire on their home planet Maridun. This story, found in Star Wars Empire issue number 16 through 18 from Dark Horse Comics, builds on the history of this species, first identified as Amanin in Star Wars Galaxy Guide number 12 from West End Games in 1995. Of course, it is the famous bounty hunter Amanin whose brief appearance in Return of the Jedi introduced this alien species to Star Wars fans. To the Last Man, Part 1 from Star Wars Empire number 16. Lieutenant Janek Sunber is leading his squadron on foot through the jungles of Maridun, while the commanding officers sit in the comfort of an AT-TE nestled between two lumbering A6 juggernauts. Nearby, a native Amanin is spying on them from the trees and moves away when the lead juggernaut is grounded on a boulder. Sunber and his men immediately get to work freeing the vehicle. His commanding officer, Captain Gage, reprimands him for helping his men, and Commander Frickett tells him he has seen Sunber's type before. General Ziering overhears the conversation and tells the two officers that Junior Officer Sunber has his priorities straight. Just as he orders the two of them to assist, the juggernaut is freed. As Sunber's men catch their breath, one of his stormtroopers catches a spear in the back instead. More spears are thrown by the Amanin, hiding in the treetops, and Sunber takes command of his squad. They are able to kill several of the attackers, and the remaining natives retreat into the jungle. Much to the chagrin of the two officers, General Ziering congratulates Sunber on his quick thinking. Commander Frickett orders Sunber's men to take point as the convoy moves on. Shortly, the Imperials emerge from the jungle onto a plain and spot a herd of Corinathoths, dinosaur-like creatures. They do not see the Amanin watching them from the high grass nearby. At dusk, they spot their destination, a mining outpost at the base of a plateau. When they reach the outpost, they discover it has been destroyed by the native Amanin, who have armed themselves with the miners' weapons. All of the civilians at the outpost have been killed, and Sunber orders his men to secure the perimeter and begin construction on their defenses. Commander Frickett tells Sunber to wait for Ziering's orders. Ziering tells Sunber he has the right idea, but to construct a small redoubt using the two juggernauts so his men can rest for the night. After Sunber and his men complete the task, Captain Gage and Commander Frickett are confident their defenses are sufficient, but Sunber isn't sure. He is concerned they have cornered themselves and will have no way to retreat if the Amanin attack. After the men settle in for the night, a small Imperial watch is caught by surprise when the Amanin do attack one of the juggernauts from the plateau. Ziering emerges from the AT-TE and Sunber suggests he takes cover. Before either can react, they are caught in an explosion set off by the attackers, which takes out the Imperial's communications. The Amanin retreat, and the next day Sunber awakens and Captain Gage orders him to begin construction of the wall. General Ziering overheard this and tells Captain Gage he will have to lead a patrol so they can learn more about their enemy. Gage is understandably concerned when he leads his men past the Imperial defenses into the plain. As soon as they are away from the fortifications, the Amanin attack. Gage flees, leaving his men to be slaughtered. As he makes it back to the outpost, Commander Frickett asks him what the enemy's strength is, and the issue concludes with the Imperials staring at a vastly larger force assembled out on the plain. We never get to see the bounty hunter Amanin in action in Return of the Jedi, so this story is a treat. The Amanin are shown to be ferocious and cunning. The small clip in the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer appears to be influenced by how they are depicted in this comic. To the Last Man, Part 2 from Star Wars Empire number 17. Commander Frickett orders the Imperials to the walls and is panicking when he commands the men to open fire on the Amanin. Unfortunately, the natives are at the end of the firing range and the Imperials are wasting precious ammunition. When the natives retreat, Frickett orders his men over the wall to pursue the enemy, and one of the juggernauts follows, destroying a portion of the wall. Sunber knows the Amanin are laying a trap and pleads with Captain Gage to end the assault, but his superior officer ignores him. The natives are hiding in the tall grass and ambush Frickett, killing him and his men. The Amanin then attack the A6 juggernaut, rendering it inoperable. Back at the outpost, Captain Gage lies to General Ziering and tells him the commander wouldn't listen to him. Ziering asks what Gage's suggestion was that Frigate ignored, but he doesn't have an answer. Ziering orders his officers to give him an account of their situation, but tells Sunber to stay behind. He then asks Sunber what he would do, and Sunber suggests they follow their enemy's tactics. The lieutenant lays out a plan that involves 3 lines of trenches with the ATT as the last line of defense. As the enemy overwhelms each trench line, they would fall back with the next trench providing support for the line in front of it. Ziering is impressed and gives Sunber a field promotion to captain. The Imperials immediately get to work implementing Sunber's plan by digging the trenches. By the evening, they have finished the work and Captain Gage suggests to Ziering that with Commander Frigate gone, he should be promoted like Sunber. Ziering dismisses the suggestion and gives a speech to the remaining Imperial troops. The plan is to hold out against the superior numbers and wait for reinforcements to arrive. Captain Gage orders Sunber to the front trench and General Ziering sees this and orders Captain Gage to the second trench. As the sun sets, the Amanin attack. Sunber's men put up a valiant fight, killing many of the assailants, but the attackers vastly outnumber the Imperials. Just as Sunber is prepared to abandon the forward trench and fall back to the second trench as planned, Captain Gage panics and orders the men in the second trench to retreat. This leaves Sunber and his men stranded. The story is written by Randy Stradley under the pseudonym Wells Hartley, and the artwork is by Davide Fabri. The illustrations complement the writing extremely well. A story like this could be confusing if not executed properly, but this tale is proving to be easy to follow. I also like that each issue ends on a cliffhanger, leaving the reader wanting to know what happens next. To the Last Man, Part 3 from Star Wars Empire number 18. Sunber is shocked to see the troops in the second trench retreating instead of providing cover for his men. Captain Gage cowers in the third trench as General Ziering watches events unfold from atop the ATTE. Sunber makes a desperate attempt to rescue himself and his men when he tosses a thermal detonator at the wrecked Juggernaut in the plane. The detonator explodes, piercing the Juggernaut's armor and igniting the fuel cells. Sunber's ploy works, and he and his men fall back to the second trench. The Amanin advance on their position, but Sunber orders half his men to one side of the trench while he takes the other troops to the other end, all while crouching down and hiding from the approaching enemy. When the Amanin reach the trench, General Ziering orders his men to open fire on the aggressors using E-Web blasters while Sunber's men attack from both sides. They are able to kill many natives and Sunber once again orders his men to retreat to the last line of defense. There, the battle is intense and both Sunber and Ziering are hit by spears. Sunber is just wounded, but Ziering is fatally injured. Captain Gage is nearby but overwhelmed with fear. As his last order, Ziering promotes Sunber to commander and orders him to save the remaining Imperials. Sunber and the troops fight valiantly until the Amanin suddenly stop. Through the haze of the battle, an Amani approaches and Sunber orders his men to hold their fire. The Amani tells Sunber they fought with valor and proved themselves. He offers them peace. 4 weeks later on the planet Carida, Sunber is called before a review board to discuss his report about Maridun. The panel tells Sunber his actions taken during the battle were appropriate, but his promotion to commander was not documented and therefore not recognized. Despite Captain Gage knowing otherwise, no other officer corroborates Sunber's promotion, and the panel cannot take Sunber's word alone. They restore him back to the rank of lieutenant, but put a special commendation in his file for his actions on the jungle planet. Throughout the story, Sunber shows himself to be a capable leader, especially compared to his peers who are more interested in currying favors with their superiors rather than focusing on the task at hand. Regardless of the outcome, this was an embarrassing defeat for the Empire. Captain Gage remains the incompetent, sniveling officer he was introduced as, but Sunber takes this in stride, proud of his accomplishments in the conflict. Sunber's story arc in the Empire title is one of my favorite published by Dark Horse. As we will learn in a future story, Janek Sunber is Tank, one of Luke Skywalker's friends from Tatooine. At the beginning of this tale, comment boxes tell us that Janek Sunber went to the academy to be a pilot, but his skills were not good enough. Instead of returning home to face his friends as a failure, he decided to join the Imperial infantry instead. He is dedicated to his duties as an Imperial, which puts him on a collision course with his childhood friend Luke, who chose another side in the unfolding galactic conflict. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, click the like button, and if you would like to see more videos like it, please subscribe to the channel.